All right, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, welcome back to another episode of the All We Do Is Talk podcast. Here with a little bit of a hybrid picks for week 7. We'll say some things about the previous week. Here with Moody and Isaiah. How we doing today, guys?
What's good, y'all? Basketball came back this week. So now, like I said, we got basketball, football, soccer, baseball playoffs, some boxing coming up, some UFC fights. We got it all here. College football, if Eric would not have given up on the season so early, but it is what it is. But we got it all here. Let's get it. How y'all feeling? I know I'm the only person who's still feeling the high of a win this previous football season. How y'all feeling? We'll wait. We'll save Eric's pain for last. Go ahead, Moon.
Oh my God, I'm caught in my hair right now. But yeah, it's not a victory, I guess, Friday for me this week. But it's no worries because our Lord and Savior, Rain Dakota Prescott, is on his way back to get Cooper Rush out of the lineup. So we'll be fine. We'll be fine. Eric, I've been looking for Christian McCaffrey in the Bay all day. I'm hoping I can find him at some point. Get an autograph. What y'all doing? I'm mad at y'all. Sick.
Yeah.
Before Eric goes, as Stephen A. said, the best thing about the trade is it puts another person in the way of the Dallas Cowboys in the NFC Championship game, and we're all winners when that happens. Go ahead, Eric. You get the stage now. Eric. Go ahead.
Yeah, I mean, this is probably the most brutal October for my sports when it comes to everything. But yeah, I was not expecting Christian McCaffrey to be the first piece to go.
Second.
I don't count Robbie Anderson. That was that was apparently a culture trade, not exactly.
Y'all got picks for him. Y'all got something.
I don't know, but I was surprised. I'm really excited for my fantasy team to see what Kyle Shanahan can do with this level running back.
As a Jeff Wilson Jr. owner, I'm very, very, very disappointed.
He's done. I traded away Christian McCaffrey because I thought he'd be in that bad situation, rotting away all season. So instead, I'm stuck with DJ Moore in that bad situation, rotting away all season. He ain't going nowhere. # free DJ Moore. We have a role for him in New York.
Just no cap space.
Yeah. Let's kick it off with the 1:00 slates for this week 7. Detroit at Dallas is where we're gonna start. Dallas -6.5. The return of Dak Prescott over under 48.5.
Oh wow! Wasn't expecting to kick it off. We usually save Dallas. Wasn't expecting us to kick it off.
I don't know. I just did it in the order of FanDuel, so I had the odds.
No, that's cool. Well, it's nothing to say about Detroit last week because they were on a bye. Nothing to say about them. They're just trying to get healthy. And for the Dallas Cowboys, the Cooper Rush, his watch has ended. It is his time has come. We can escort him back to the bench. He'll be receiving a hefty pay raise at the end of the season for his service for the Dallas Cowboys. But hopefully that's the last time we have to see him play football because as Eric pointed out, Dak Prescott is back. And that hopefully will make all the difference in what is expected to be a decently scoring football game. For Dallas, it's simple. Stay with the run game. Detroit's got the worst defense in terms of run defense, pass defense, all defense. That is it. It's abysmal. So all Dak has to do is come in, hand the ball to Zeke, hand the ball to Tony Pollard, make the explosive plays when they're presented to you because they will be there all day. And Dallas Cowboys should be able to get out ahead and cruise to a very comfortable victory. For the Detroit Lions, it was a fun little start, but I think we're starting to see that no, they're still bad. Even with a bye week, they still have given up the most points in the NFL this season, despite playing less games than most other teams. We know what it is for them, but their offense is really talented. They might get DeAndre Swift back, although they already ruled out DJ Chark. Amon-Ra St. Brown is back. Hawkinson, it's a good offensive line. They should be able to score some points against a very good Dallas defense. And since they're the cover gods, I will give them their respect and say they will keep it within a touchdown. I will take Detroit to cover. Cowboys will win, though, and the over.
What he said, not much to say about Detroit. They're coming off a bye, but they're getting healthy. Swift and St. Brown, another couple weeks off the injury. And they're still waiting on Jameson Williams, but he's going to be back soon. But they're getting healthy. Swift and Amon-Ra St. Brown, 2 important pieces. Hopefully a couple players in that secondary for Detroit. And as for Dallas, They run into Philly with their backup quarterback. Defense gets exposed maybe a little bit, but they're getting Dak back, so no quarterback controversy, which is the saddest part. We wanted Cooper Rush to win that game, to ruin the locker room, to carry us through the season. But I'm gonna ring the bell for this game. I'm ringing the bell. I'm ringing the bell. But Moody already copped out. He picked his team to win and cover. So I mean, we're gonna stick with the cover guys because I think their offensive line will keep them in this game because, like Philly last week, they will be able to block that furious pass rush that Dallas can send after you. Probably be able to run the ball better on Dallas than most of Kansas. And if you haven't been watching, Dallas actually has a weaker run defense than pass defense. So I'm going to take Detroit to cover, possibly win. What's the over-under? You said 42 and a half?
48.5.
48 and a half. Give me the over because Detroit's defense, I don't believe in that unit. It's the worst defense in the NFL, and it's not really close.
Yeah, I'm going against you. I'm going Dallas to cover. I think they're gonna have a jolt having their starting quarterback back in the lineup, so they're gonna want to showcase a little bit against a brutal cover God's defense. And also the Lions have been struggling of late on offense, so I just think this is the right matchup. I'm glad I get it within a touchdown. Give me Dallas and the over.
Now pause now, Eric. Are you thinking with your head, or are you looking at the standings and the scoreboard and thinking, man, I need to cut down space now here? You got a long season ahead of you. You don't gotta cut down space. You don't gotta catch up that quickly.
We'll be all right. We'll be all right.
Okay.
We'll be all right.
Hold on.
Speaking of being far behind, we'll talk Indianapolis at Tennessee. Tennessee's minus 2.5 over under 41.5.
I mean, I'll go first because I'm making my lock of the week. Give me Tennessee, who's coming off a bye. So not much to say about them other than they're getting more healthy, getting informed for Tennessee to do Tennessee things. Good enough to win the AFC South with great coaching, good enough quarterback play, great play from the running back. We've got Indianapolis, who stole a miracle game from the jaws of the feet of the Jacksonville Jaguars. So disappointing, but great to see one of my favorite receivers from the draft, Alex Parrish, making a big play at the end of that game. But yeah, the Colts 3-2-1. The season's saved, Eric. The hot take is alive. But yeah, give me Tennessee to put a nail in that coffin. And King Henry proves that he's better than Jonathan Taylor.
Yeah, I'm with you, Isaiah. I don't know if it's the lock, but it's really, really hard to think because I could easily see Indianapolis winning the game because neither of these teams are actually any good. But better coaching, better quarterback, as Isaiah has previously stated. I expect them to be able to run the ball really well against a Colts defense that's been struggling, especially last week against Jacksonville. They couldn't slow those guys down really at all. And then Matt Ryan, he won't have he'll have a much harder time dealing with this pass rush this week. Colts have been doing some offensive line reshuffling, trying to figure it out, but I don't think it'll be enough. Tennessee wins, Tennessee covers, and the over.
I'm in agreement with both of you. I think this is Tennessee's game to win. Haven't they already played this year? They've already played one time. They've already played
Yes.
And the Titans handled them pretty well. So I'm going to go Tennessee as well, and I'll go the under. All right, let's move it on to Isaiah's game. The Giants actually underdogs at Jacksonville. Jacksonville is favored by 3 points over under 43.5.
Well, perfect segue, Eric, because we just talked about the Indianapolis Colts game that the Jacksonville. I mean, just 3 weeks ago, people were saying that Jacksonville had turned it around and they were going in the right direction. And then they were up against Philly, and then it's been downhill since then with a brutal loss to the Texans, brutal choke job to the Colts. The coaching looks suspect. The quarterback play is still suspect. But moving on to the Giants have this hot start. And if I'm looking ahead, which I hate to, they're staring 9-1 in the face, but it's more realistically 8-2. So if you look at the schedule, they got Seattle, Houston, Detroit with a bias sandwich in between this game and the Seattle game. So I guess they've got to lose one of these games, but I don't care. Keep riding the hot hand. Give me the Giants to cover. Give me the over because the Giants have a couple bad injuries to their pass rush unit, while Jacksonville sneakily can't stop the pass at all. And the Giants might be able to take advantage of that. Surprisingly, they'll be playing one of the worst secondaries they'll play this season. So give me the over. And yeah, give me the Giants to cover. Keep it
Yeah.
going. Keep the train going.
Yeah, I'm really surprised that Jacksonville's getting the points. Is the favorite here. I really didn't expect that to be the case. The Giants have looked like clearly the better football team through 6 weeks. Jacksonville, that just a devastating loss last week. It just sets you back to reality. Oh yeah, Christian Kirk is actually still mid. That offensive line
He
actually
scored a
still
touchdown
isn't
in that
good.
game. He scored a touchdown in the last.
3 for 24 and a
he's
touchdown. He's 3 for 24 and a touchdown. That's what he is now. That early first 2 week where they was in the game plan and people didn't have tape, he looked fantastic. Now he looks regular. Marvin Jones Jr. isn't really anything. Evan Ingram, those weapons really aren't anything. The offensive line still isn't very good, and the defense has regressed since some early season success. I think they're going to have a hard time dealing with the coaching staff of the New York Giants, especially Wink and the defense's ability to force Trevor Lawrence into making some poor decisions. He's aggressive. He's a gunslinger type. He'll force a throw. And I think that would make 1 or 2 game-changing turnovers for the Giants to hang into the game to the fourth quarter, and they'll still in the end. I'll take the Giants to cover and the under.
I'm in a complete agreement with Moody. Giants and under. This was probably the most shocking line. To the point where I don't understand what Vegas is getting this from, and I'll take the Giants and the under.
That's that Vegas sleight of hand. They'll show you something to finesse you with a line
Correct.
and feel like, hey, this is easy.
Correct. They have the lights on for a reason. All right, let's keep it going. Cleveland heading to Baltimore. Baltimore minus 6.5, over under 5.5. I'll go first. I'll go Baltimore. I'll go Baltimore minus 6.5. A get-right game, I guess, for them. Jacoby Brissett has been choking these games away, but so has Baltimore. So it's who's not going to choke this week. And I'll take the over.
Yeah, Baltimore. Wow, you just segueing perfectly in this order, Eric, because Baltimore coming off that brutal loss to the New York Giants where Lamar Jackson kind of single-handedly cost them the game. You know, it's tough that Justin Tucker missed a field goal. He went Cody Parkey. You never go full Cody Parkey. Baltimore's tough because their defense is suspect. But if Lamar's playing great, they'll be fine. And can you really trust Jacoby Brissett to beat Lamar Jackson in Baltimore? I'll take Baltimore. Cleveland, who's coming up an easy loss that we saw coming against New England, so no reason much more to talk about that. But I'll take Cleveland to cover. I'll take Cleveland to cover, and I'll take the over because I don't think these defenses are that great. I think we'll see Nick Chubb and Lamar Jackson break at least 20 tackles combined in this game.
Yeah, I'm in agreement. I just can't see Jacoby Brissett going and beating Lamar Jackson in this situation here. Baltimore, it's time for the folding to stop. You're the better football team. You're going to have a double-digit lead in the second half because they can't stop the run at all. They should not be able to slow you down in any way, shape, or form. They should be getting Rashad Bateman back. Hopefully that will allow them to make some big plays down the field as well. Y'all are the better football team. Go ahead, take care of business. We can get Lamar Jackson MVP train back going again.
I think that's dead. I think that's
he can still overcome it. But yeah, beyond that, Cleveland, they like Isaiah said, they were walking into the slaughter of New England last week. I expect the momentum to continue to be down this week. Their defense has severely underperformed, and Baltimore should be playing angry coming off a very dumb loss against the Giants last week. Take Baltimore and the over.
And yeah, Eric, I took Cleveland to cover. I still think Baltimore will win, but I just can't back them to cover 6.5.
All right, so Cleveland. All right, let's move on to, I guess, the 2022 version of the Cover Gods. Atlanta Falcons heading to Cincinnati. Cincinnati minus 6.5, over under 47.5.
And Eric, that's all you need to tell me. They're undefeated against the spread, and I expect the train to continue this week. I don't know how they do it. They just figure it out. They run Arthur Smith and his run scheme has been absolutely outstanding. They've been able to run with whoever, whenever, however they need to do it. And Cincinnati isn't a very aggressive defense. They aren't incredibly stout up front. They have some good front defensive linemen, but I think Atlanta could get after them and run the ball, shorten the possessions, and keep the game close. And as for Atlanta's defense, if AJ Terrell ever wants to decide to be good again, this would be a good week to do it against Jamar Chase and Cincinnati Bengals. T. Higgins is banged up. Boyd's banged up. Cincinnati has not shown the ability to run the ball with much consistency. This is the time. Atlanta can continue to keep this upset brewery going. I expect them to be able to hang into the game. They obviously had a huge upset against San Francisco last week with their ability to run the ball and make some timely plays. I think that will continue this week. I'll take Atlanta to cover and the over.
This might be the sleight of hand that Vegas has shown you when you parlay the Giants covering or winning with Atlanta because they haven't not covered. They're undefeated versus the spread this year. Atlanta coming off the second biggest upset of last weekend. Maybe the third in y'all opinion, but definitely a top 3 upset last week. Crushing the San Francisco 49ers at home, which is shocking because San Francisco didn't even go back to the West Coast, so don't even get that excuse. But like I said, I picked Atlanta to hit their over this year, so I always believe in their coaching, and Arthur Smith has proven me right. Now my man's Marcus Mariota saved his job. I would pull the plug, but that's a different story for a different time. And as for Cincinnati, they won because they have Jamar Chase catching passes from Joe Burrow, and that is an elite combination, especially when the Saints are just playing him one-on-one. I don't know why anybody would be playing Jamar Chase one-on-one anymore. But Atlanta to cover because you ride the hot hand, and give me the over because now give me the under. Lost in all of this is Cincinnati's defense is actually a top 10 defense now. So I'll take Atlanta to cover and I'll take the under. Sloppy game.
Yeah, I'll hop on board of the Cover Gods 2022 edition. I will take the over as well because I think there will be points in this game. All right, boys, let's keep it moving. Where Green Bay is coming to our nation's capital. Green Bay is -4.5, over under 41.5.
I'll go ahead first because this is going to be my lock of the week. This is the get-right game for Green Bay and Aaron Rodgers to find their offensive abilities again. They got back the Yari back. The offensive line should start gelling a little bit, and Washington can't cover anybody. Aaron Rodgers is going to be playing – either Aaron Rodgers going to be playing angry or he's going to be checked out. If he's checked out, Green Bay is screwed. If he's playing angry, they could turn the season around. And I think this is as big an opportunity as any. Obviously, last week, it just looks rough. The offense just looks rough. The Jets dominated them. Obviously, they have 2 talented cornerbacks, and Green Bay can't get anything going outside. They've given up on handing the ball to A.J. Dillon. They can't run the ball anymore. They need a softer defense. They need a softer opponent to kind of get their confidence back, get Aaron Rodgers' confidence back. I expect them to bounce back in a big way. For Washington, obviously, Carson Wentz is out. He hurt his thumb in the Thursday night game against Chicago. They're going to go with Taylor Heineke. Maybe he gets Terry McLaurin back involved, but Washington just looks like a team that's on the downhill pretty fast. They still don't have Chase Young. I will take Green Bay to cover and the over.
Yeah, I'm going to take Green Bay to cover and the over as well. I think, like Moody said, this would have been my lock if some other things didn't happen. This would have been my lock. Green Bay, and I'll take the over. Moody, what total did you take?
Over.
Washington, who's coming off that pathetic win on Thursday Night Football that we don't even talk about no more because Chicago just blew the game by themselves. And then Green Bay, who got dominated by the Jets and then blew a lead to the Giants the week prior. Fuck it. Give me my guy, repping from ODU, Taylor Heineke, to cover it up here. He's a cover guy himself some more times. You've seen him in the playoffs against Tampa Bay. And give me the over because I think this is going to be a freakishly intriguing game that turns out to be wild and crazy because of bad football. So I'll waver on the other path and give me Washington football team, Commanders, whatever you want to call them, the cover, and give me the over.
All right, let's move it on to my game. Tampa Bay coming to Carolina. Tampa Bay -13.5, over under 38.5. And boys, this is my lock of the week. Tampa Bay -13.5. I just don't see where any yardage or consistent offense against this defense will score any points at all.
Is the Sam Darnold back?
I don't care. I don't care. The only reason he went 3-0 last year was because of Christian McCaffrey, who is now back in the bet. And I will take the over. No, I'll take the under.
I'm gonna have to disagree with the lock of the week here, Eric, because while I do believe Tampa Bay can still sneak their way to the Super Bowl because of Tom Brady magic, I just don't believe that offense with all those injuries they have up front. Last week, Tampa Bay was in the biggest upset of the week, losing to what I might say is a team just as bad as Carolina. And I think Carolina can transplant a lot of the things we saw in that game plan defensively to stop Tampa Bay this week, because those offensive linemen for Tampa Bay aren't going to be able to block those defensive linemen for Carolina. And I also think Carolina's players will start to play a little harder with the hopes of showcasing their talents to get the fuck out of town. So enough of that from the defense will be enough to keep this game close, because Tampa Bay has been neutered by their terrible offensive line injuries. And give me the under in what will be probably the worst game we see this weekend.
Man, Isaiah, you almost convinced me. You almost convinced me, but I'm going to stick with my original thought. There's no way. This seems like the perfect get-right game for Tampa Bay and the Bucs. It's got to happen. Like Green Bay with Washington, this is a team that's given up on the season. They've given up on the season. How can you not go out here and take care of business? The weapons are healthy. The offense, the offense is as healthy as it's going to be. The defense needs to be able to make plays against a really bad offense in the Carolina Panthers. I don't know how they move the ball with any success whatsoever. Tampa Bay, take care of it here. I'll take the over as well.
All right, boys, let's keep it moving. Let's go to Sin City, Las Vegas, where they are 7-point favorites to the Houston Texans, over under 45.5.
We got Houston coming off a bye, correct? Not much to say about them except they're chasing Carolina for the number 1 overall pick. And they might be
both of these teams are, apparently.
And no, we'll get to that part later. They're both coming off byes, though. That is correct. But yeah, I believe the Houston Texans will finish closer to Carolina than the Raiders, because this is where I keep riding my bold take. The Raiders season's not over. When you come off the bye, you get Houston fresh off a bye. All you gotta do is punch them in the mouth real quick, and they'll quit and know their role and shut their mouth. So give me the Raiders to get their season back on track with an easy cover. What's the over under? Yeah.
45.5.
Yeah, give me the Raiders in a blowout. This will be the most ugliest game of the schedule, least competitive to say.
I think it'll be a little bit closer than that, but I think the Raiders go ahead and take care of business here. It just seems like Houston doesn't really have much to fight for. They really need to start getting into the habit of losing games. They got their one win. They're not going to go winless. And Vegas needs to be fighting for their lives here. So against an inferior football team, they should be able to get after them some good pass rush. Devontae Adams against Derek Stingley, that's going to be a really fun matchup. But Derek Stingley might just be a little too undersized to handle a Devontae Adams level threat. Give me the Vegas Raiders to cover and the over. The Raiders are a bad tackling team. And Dameon Pierce breaks lots of tackles. Houston will be able to score points, but Vegas pulls away from them late.
I'm in complete agreement with y'all, Las Vegas and the over. All right, boys, let's keep going. The Jets going to Denver. Denver is somehow a favorite still, -1, over under 37.5.
I mean, Broncos country? That's right. Oh, Russell Wilson coming off. What did they do last week? They were embarrassing against.
On Monday Night Football, 1916 Monday Night Football.
Yeah, the Broncos are poorly coached. Their quarterback rating has dropped below 80 in Madden. His name is Russell Wilson, the artist formerly known as the Seattle Seahawks quarterback. He's been stolen. So yeah, give me the Jets, because the Jets are coming off a big win against Green Bay. Give me the Jets easily. Tease the lineup a little bit. Give me the Jets to cover. Give me an under, because I don't expect the Jets offense to be like bulldozing that unfortunately great Denver Broncos defense that is being wasted by Mr. Russell Wilson.
Yeah, the Jets are riding high right now. They're 4-2, undefeated with Zach Wilson. They just dominated Aaron Rodgers and Lambeau Field. And despite Zach Wilson not looking very good so far this year, they've been able to do a great job of running the football, playing defense, exact style Robert Saleh wants to play, and they've been able to hang tough. And for the Denver Broncos, Russell Wilson, he looks toast. He may not even play. It might be Brett Rypien for all we know. The Broncos offense just can't get anything going. I think the Jets defense continues to roll. I'll take the Jets to cover and the under.
Yeah, I completely agree. I don't know how you can ever lay points right now with Denver, so I will also take the Jets and the under. All right, boys, let's keep it going. Seattle heading to LA to face the Chargers. Chargers minus 5.5 over under 50. I will go with Seattle plus 5, and I'll take the over in this game.
Yeah, Eric, I'm right there with you. I think Seattle, coming off of an ugly defensive victory last week against the Arizona Cardinals, they're playing good football. They're playing confident football. The Chargers defense has been very soft in recent weeks. J.C. Jackson got benched on Monday Night Football despite their defense playing good because he just hasn't looked good. The ankle surgery seems to be slowing him down a little bit. He's also out of the Bill Belichick tree, so you always have to be questionable about corners leading Bill Belichick. So you always have to be something to worry about. I expect Seattle to be able to put up points here. It's a high over-under. Expects to be lots of points. Seattle's healthy. Kenneth Walker has a lot of juice to bring against a really bad Chargers run defense. And the Chargers are staring to buy in the face. The Chargers escaped on Monday Night Football mostly because of how bad Denver was. But I don't think they're really playing with much confidence. The quarterback is still a little beat up. He's still not making the plays he consistently makes. And if Seattle offense just shows up and is able to move the ball with ease, I expect them to hang right in there. So I'll take Seattle to cover and the over.
Yeah. It's a tough game for me to pick because Seattle, it's the Chargers coming off that brutal win against the Broncos where they only got out there because the special teams disaster for the Broncos. And the Seahawks coming off a big win where their defense stepped up and stopped Kyler Murray. Had Kyler Murray so frustrated, he was cursing out Cliff Kingsbury last night. So it's tough. But I'm going to keep riding with my man Justin Herbert to just be better than Geno Smith. I just believe that. So 5 points. 5 points. Give me the Chargers to cover and give me the over.
All right, let's keep it going. Probably the best game. I would say the best game. Kansas City minus 1.5 at San Francisco. Over under 48.5.
Well, this is really, really like a Super Bowl rematch. This should be very, very interesting for Kansas City. Tough. Patrick Mahomes while Tony Romo was calling the game, had a real life Tony Romo moment. It was incredibly stunning to see with a minute to play, 2 timeouts, and all you got to do is drive down the field to get a touchdown. And you threw a pick on the second play of the drive. And that's basically what happened in Kansas City last week. Patrick Mahomes was spectacular for all but that moment of the game. Bills are a much tougher defense than actually, no, they're not. San Francisco's a really great defense too. So another week of tough defenses for Patrick Mahomes to see. Chiefs are not running the ball as well as they did early in the season, and now they're playing a really, really good run defense. I think that's going to be pretty tough for Kansas City this week. And for San Francisco, they're coming off a really worst loss of the season, maybe Chicago week 1, but it's really, really bad how they performed against the Atlanta Falcons. They couldn't get anything going on the ground game, hence the Christian McCaffrey trade, which we all saw. I don't expect him to play on Sunday. I think I'd be surprised if he did, but it should be really, really fun to see him in that offense when he does get introduced to the lineup. But San Francisco is completely healthy. Trent Williams is back. Nick Bosa is back. They're as healthy as they can be. Jason Rhett's going to be into the lineup this week. Kansas City coming off that loss. I think San Francisco, as home underdogs, takes it here. They cover. Now take the over.
Yeah, I guess I disagree with you. I feel like Christian McCaffrey is going to play some. I think running back is one of the easier positions to integrate at least some form of a package for. So I will be starting him in fantasy, and I will take San Francisco and the over.
Yeah, we got Kansas City coming off a big loss to the Bills where, those are going to be one possession games. They lost them in the regular season, so if the Bills don't finish off the season strong, that loss probably won't matter because the Kansas City still had the 1 seed last year. And as for San Francisco, they got drummed by the Atlanta Falcons. Imagine saying that earlier to start the season would have helped. They were banged up, so I will say that, but we watched Super Bowl 54. How did that go? Close but no cigar. So give me Patrick Mahomes versus Jimmy G every time, every single time. Chiefs coming off a loss. Andy Reid's amazing coming off losses. So, yeah, give me the Chiefs to cover. Give me the over in what should be a very, very entertaining game. And Christian McCaffrey to score his first touchdown as the 49ers in this game.
All right. For some reason, Sunday Night Football to celebrate a perfect season that no one – anyway, Pittsburgh at Miami. Miami minus 7.5, over under 45.5.
Welcome back, Tua. With Tua's back coming off that really, really bad injury on Thursday Night Football. He's expected to be into the lineup. They should be getting Armstead back on the offensive line too. Think things are looking – we'll see how Miami looks. Tua, obviously when you deal with a hit like that, you always got to be sketchy about what's going on. But they should be getting healthier on the offensive side of the football. Defensively, they should be getting healthier playing on Sunday night, but we'll see how rusty Tua looks. They actually had a really they threw the ball really well against Minnesota last week. They threw for like 354 yards. They just couldn't score. They just couldn't punch it in the red zone. I think Tua, who's a great red zone quarterback, will be able to take care of that for them. Pittsburgh, they came off the big upset last week against Tampa Bay. Mike Tomlin got those guys in shape, got them playing with confidence again, and I think they'll be able to parlay that into another strong performance this week. I think Pittsburgh, under the bright lights, gives Miami a tough fight here. I'll take Pittsburgh to cover and the under.
Yeah, I mean, I agree with everything Moody said. Miami didn't play too bad with backup quarterback / Teddy Bridgewater reappearing. Bad Jalen Waddle fumble and then a bad Teddy Bridgewater interception. It was disastrous for them. And as for Pittsburgh, upset of the week. Don't know how they did it. But, yeah, give me Pittsburgh to cover, possibly win, and give me the under. This is going to look like a game that was from 1970.
Yeah, I'm in complete agreement. Pittsburgh in the under. How can you not take Pittsburgh in a primetime game? And it's Tua's first game back, so it's going to – I don't think he'll have it firing on all cylinders first time back out. All right, Monday Night Football, Cleveland at New England. New England minus 7.5, over under 39.5.
Let's try Chicago at New England.
What did I say?
It's all good. It's all good. Let's just pick the game. It's a pretty terrible game. Give me Bill Belichick to continue to assault Justin Fields' train. I'm sure he'll have let's just hope he doesn't end up like Sam Darnold. Let's just hope Justin Fields isn't facing a Sam Darnold-like end of his career in this Monday Night Football game. And give me the over because I think Bill Belichick will get the Patriots to do it single-handedly. Return to Mac Jones.
Yeah, the Patriots were looking down bad after that Mac Jones injury. The season looked like it was going to be over. Then Bill Belichick got to see Jared Goff, Jacoby Brissett, and now Justin Fields on the menu. And I expect Justin Fields to go down the same way the other two quarterbacks went down in a dumpster fire. Yeah, give me New England to cover. They'll dominate the football game. Chicago's going to have a hard time scoring points. And give me the under. It could easily be a shutout like what they did to Detroit.
Oh, absolutely. How can you take Chicago in this game? There's no way possible in Bill world. So I will take New England and give me the under. There's going to be no points scored. All right, guys. I think that's it. Be a 5-tool viewer. 5 of them. Put them up. Now fourth quarter, 5 of them. Let's go, boys.
All right, man. Enjoy the football and basketball and baseball.